Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for joining us for episode 15 here on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for stopping by, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the show. Before we begin, we'd like to take a minute to thank our supporters on Patreon. Shout out to Art, Brian, Kevin, James, and Karen. Thank you so much for your support. If you feel so inclined to support us on Patreon, you will find a link in the description wherever you are listening. And if you don't feel so inclined, that's totally okay too. We appreciate you being here. We'd also like to let everyone know that we are teaming up with our good friend, the Attacking Midfielder, a great Inter Miami resource that sends fantastic in-depth previews and recaps straight to your inbox. To sign up or read past editions, visit attmid.com. The link will be available in the description below. So, guys, it feels like this has been the longest break between matches that we've had in forever. I think since we started doing this is probably the biggest gap between matches. So, I feel rested and rejuvenated. This is admittedly the second or third time we've done this recording. So, now that we got all that out of the way, Chris, how are you feeling?
All right, so I actually feel nice and refreshed. We've had a few days off. We've had a few weeks that are just back to back to back, 2-3 days in between, and really no rest for the team or for us. We were exhausted. So it's been a nice few days. We're all relaxed. My wife is happy that I had a few days off. So everyone's in a good mood. Hopefully the team's nice and rested as well. We need them to be rested for this match coming up. Obviously a lot of their players are missing for this match, but the ones that are playing, hopefully they're very well rested going forward. One thing I want to say, guys, since we have had a few days off, we did get a nice interview in with Luis Miguel Echegaray. Check it out. Finish watching this episode and go back to our channel. Check out that interview. It's a great interview. He's super energetic, great probing questions. We spoke about his interview with Messi and just a few other background things with him. So awesome interview. Go check it out when you're done here.
Yeah, I definitely feel reinvigorated. The time off was necessary. I'm hoping that the team feels the same way. We had a lot of guys that were on their last legs. I know Jose was very upset that Alba hadn't had a break the entire time that he's been on the team. So Jordi Alba will be a little bit refreshed, and it'll be good because a lot of those established players haven't had a lot of downtime. So they're going to be relied upon now that we have a lot of guys on international break. So we're really going to need them to be as on point as possible. And no, I think I speak for all of us when we're excited at the fact that we're coming back. I think we enjoyed the break, but we were ready for some more football.
Yeah, I'm pretty hype. I'm excited. I'm still recovering. I'm on a bender from the other day, watching LAFC just get wrecked at their home court. Selena Gomez watching. Everyone's there just watching and watching the dominance. I think that was our best game so far in a while. The games prior to that, the last two games, I haven't been impressed with our form. That was partly why I chose us to lose against that AFC, because I just didn't like what we were playing. This time, man, they showed out. I expect more of that from the role players coming into this game now. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah, I think it would have been more appreciated if we had the gap between the Nashville match and the LAFC match, where it was like we were so bogged down, and then we go up against LAFC and we have this fantastic result. We're so ready to get back into it because we're on top of the world. So this is like maybe the worst time emotionally for us to have a break, but definitely good for the players physically, those that will be at least with the team, because we have, as you guys mentioned, a laundry list of players that will be unavailable for this match due to international duty. Inter Miami have the most players in the MLS that were called up for international duty, and obviously the marquee player on that list is Lionel Messi. But there are tons of top contributors who will be out. And I want to get your guys' feeling on who, not named Messi, will probably leave us with the biggest gap to fill.
I'll let Chris go first.
All right, so calendar. He is our big red flag here that's going to be out. We're going to miss him deeply. The defense has been playing a lot better, but we all know he makes those great saves back there. He covers up a lot of the messy play from the defense, no pun intended. But yeah, calendar's going to be a problem. You know, there's been contradicting reports that I've seen whether he's going to play or not Saturday. The latest one I saw was that he's not going to play with us on Saturday. So we'll see. I think we'll know either tomorrow or Friday a little more detail into that. So yeah, without him, you know, we have Dos Santos that will be starting, but we've seen it. He's been playing out of his mind lately, and it's going to be a problem back there without him.
Yeah, calendar is the big one. It's hard to not agree with the calendar pick. But if I'm going to go off of somebody else, it might not be the biggest impact, but I am going to go with Kramaski. I believe that he's the most fun. Like whenever Kramaski's on the pitch, I can't help but smile. I get happy. I'm like, because he plays with such great enthusiasm and energy, and that's something that I'm not sure there's anybody on this club that can replicate that. So I will be upset that Kramaski won't be out there, but again, this is a chance for other guys to really show up and show out.
I think David has a crush.
I mean, it's hard not to. Kramaski and his little hair and just flowing, just free flowing. He's just so happy, just running around. I would have to mention Gomez. I would say because everyone else is there's no one else to mention really other than Messi. But Julio already said you can't mention Messi, so yeah, Gomez would be the guy. He makes up for a lot of the defensive deficiencies that in the mid that we don't have when Arroyo is not playing. So yeah, we're gonna miss him. He might be part of the doghouse crew, and we would need him for against Kansas City because really there's one guy that I'm looking at that needs to be put in the doghouse, the Mukhtar doghouse.
Are we gonna keep it named the Mukhtar Doghouse, or are we changing the name for this match?
No, that was the original doghouse. It was made for him.
Gotcha. So there's just vacancy available now for this match.
Everyone just gets. He's the guy we made it for, and then everyone else just keeps trickling into the same doghouse.
Beautiful.
So hopefully we can do that again. We're gonna need to because there's one guy that's kind of scary.
Their advertising, it says your name here.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna surprise everyone and say that I'm gonna miss Joseph Martinez. I am big Campana fan, as everyone should know by now if you've listened to the show at any point in time. But he's not going to have his little bro to prove wrong, to prove the haters wrong. It's going to have to be on Campana in this match and any match that we're missing key players to prove to everyone that he deserves to be the number 9 at Inter Miami day in, day out. I think Campana is going to ball, but I'm going to miss Joseph Martinez giving the little pressure because Campana almost has the role just with no fear of getting pulled, you know, unless we're up by 6 goals. I think he plays a full 90 or close to it. But he's not going to have Joseph nipping at his heels, almost assuredly getting the start on Saturday. And yeah, I'm going to miss Joseph, you know, I'm going to miss who am I going to bash for doing a dummy in the box, you know? I'm not going to have that now. So I'm going to miss Joseph. He does add a little something to our attack. He's a veteran presence up there. But, you know, I'm going to be happy that Campana's starting.
I'm surprised no one here has mentioned Robert Taylor. Actually, I'm not. It's addition by subtraction. I'm very happy he's not going to be playing. I hope he has a great time playing in Helsinki. We're not going to need him in this game.
Deep Helsinki pool there. The bashing of Robert Taylor is the disrespect is too much almost. This is clearly cocky Miami fan that showed up when Messi showed up. I don't know what to tell you. Robert Taylor is very good. He has some down moments. He's hot and cold, and right now he's a little cold. He's Finnish, all right? They're used to the cold, okay? That's how it is in Helsinki. I don't know what to tell you.
It's very, very cool there. Yeah, you know why I'm wearing what I'm wearing right now, guys? Because of all these guys that are missing. They're on vacation, having a great time. And now we have to like pull our strings together to pull this win out of our butts. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to talk more about it now. So I hope everybody straps in.
So for those of you listening, Jose's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I don't think Jose realizes sometimes people are just listening on the podcast. So yeah, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
You're right.
and
Yeah.
nothing else. So, as far as the players that will be unavailable, I think we covered that pretty well. What about the players that are available? We've seen some predicted lineups. Our friend, the attacking midfielder, actually, he great follow on Twitter, by the way. Go look him up at ATT midfielder on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. So he tweeted out a predicted lineup that I think is I would be very happy to see it if we employed it against Sporting Kansas City. So he has us rolling out with a 5-3-2, which is what we came out against LAFC with Campana and Stefanelli, who we haven't seen since July, up top. Faria sitting in behind like a number 10, Busquets and Arroyo. And then the back line is something that I would be pretty happy with the exception of one player. So we have Alba, Noah Allen, Kamal Miller, Toto Aviles, and DeAndre Yedlin in the back line. Noah Allen scares me if we're starting with him and expecting him to play a full 90. But hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Do something about it, But I think that lineup gives us a really good balance of enough players in defense that are in good form and have experience recently to be able to continue to hold possession against our opposition. And then up front with Campana, Stefanelli, and Farias, I think we have a lot of players that can create something, that have seen the ball hit the back of the net recently, and can really cause problems for a Kansas City defense that, let's admit it, they're not at the same level of Cincinnati, Nashville, LAFC even. So I think this is a really nice predicted lineup. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there will be something totally different? What's the pulse check?
Actually, I really like the five in the back. The five in the back seems like it's continuation from what we saw last match, which did pretty well. Obviously, like you said, Allen will be there instead of Christoph. And so that might be a little bit of a hiccup back there, but he played recently in that same position, and it was okay. It wasn't anything great, but he held it down, and he did okay. What I want to see a little different, although I do like that attacking the attack that you did mention with Farias and Stefanelli and Campana. I kind of want to keep it the same what we saw last match. I don't want to change much from there. I really like what the team did last time. I want to see Campana and Farias in the striker position. I think that's going to be the best thing. And then obviously Busquets in the middle. Arroyo is going to be key in defense. Like we said earlier, or like I said a little while ago, I think Kansas City, their biggest issue for us is their attack. Their defense, I'm not too worried about. Their attack, they have a few players, which we'll speak about in a little bit, one of them being Pulido, that may pose a problem to our defense. So I think Arroyo's strong defensive mind might help us out a lot there. And then in the other center mid position, someone like Ulloa or something like that might be there. That's still a toss-up, that last piece. So, I kind of like that two-striker formation. And then five in the back, I think, is a must.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they have to go five in the back. The only difference is I don't believe Stefanelli gets the starting nod for this group. I don't think he's played enough in any form to get the starting nod. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do have Farias and Campana up front with at the striker positions, and somebody like Guillermo Mota getting the start and just being behind them, and then relying on Arroyo and Busquets to occupy that defensive mid position, and really be relying on our attacking wingers to push up while still having five players back in defense so that we don't get torched that same way. So I think that we're going to be relying on that type of formation more than anything. But again, I think that has to start with people who've played semi-recently. And I know Mota's stint in the starting lineup didn't go that great for us, but it's part of getting his feet under him. And that's the same thing. So I do believe Stefanelli will come off the bench and spell Campana, or maybe they'll push Farias back and add Stefanelli in attack later and remove Mota or something like that. But I think these guys who haven't played will definitely be coming on in the second half. But for that starting group, it's going to be people who've played.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with what you guys are saying for the most part. Other than Julio, I did totally disagree. I think we need the 5 man back just because it's one of those things where we're not going to be bringing the offense like we normally do. So what's our mo right now? Just outscore the other team. We're not going to have Messi. Let's face it. We can hope and I agree with Chris. We need to have some kind of continuity with what we're going to do in our just in our play style. We need to have an identity now that our identity is gone. Our identity is have high possession, give it to Messi, and let him do magic. That's been what's best for us, right? That's typically what we can count on. If now we can get Alba going on the left side, bring in a nasty strike into the box, and somebody have a nice goal. That's always a nice way too. Throw it up ahead to Campana, or lately we've been giving it to Farias and having him do some fun. He may have to take on that role that Messi had before. We're gonna need that. So I'm expecting Farias Campana on top, Ulloa, Arroyo, and Sergio in the mid. We can even put Sergio at left CB. He's played it before, mostly to contain the possession. I think that's why Tata was using him in that in that game. He was using more CB once. So yeah, Allen, Miller, Aviles, Yedlin, and Alba. Those are the 5 men in the back, and we
So
need it. And one more thing in the subs, I have Mota and Stefanelli playing, but the truth is that the more I think about it, why? Have they even really played with our current like 11 last 11 games? Have we even played with them, and have they actually had any form of success? They haven't. One guy that I think would be interesting, that we haven't talked about, is maybe Robbie Robinson. Again, like he's actually played lately. It could be someone that we can see come off the bench to spell one of our forwards. I'm not a huge fan of his by any means, but he's played more than Stefanelli. You know,
yeah, that's a good point. We might see a little Robbie Robinson flash here. I like the idea of going 5 at the back, and I think actually completely against your point, I think it will allow us to attack a weakness that I've seen in Kansas City. It seems to me that Kansas City is very susceptible to long balls over the top, or kind of these curling crosses, maybe from Alba's position or Yedlin. And I mean, Busquets, Alba, Yedlin. We've seen Toto Aviles play in Farias just in this last match against LAFC. I think having 5 at the back gives us a lot of flexibility for those deep lying players to play these balls that can be put in really dangerous areas. It seems like Kansas City has a really tough time dealing with them. And if we have Campana and Farias, any combination of those two, if you want to throw in Stefanelli, Robbie Robinson, whoever it may be, I think having these players that sit back but have the ability to play these long balls, I think that will pose a lot of problems to Kansas City. Whereas if you have 4 at the back, there's a lot less freedom by any of those defenders to get as forward. I mean, obviously you're going to have Alba and Yedlin getting up no matter what. I mean, they could be playing just them 2 at the back and they'll still be bombing forward. But, I think the 5 at the back gives us flexibility to do that. And also it protects Allen. It protects Aviles, like we always say, because Aviles is very aggressive. It gives them a little extra protection when they get aggressive, or if they get up to play a pass. If they get caught out of position, there's more protection in the back because, like we said, Calendar likely will not be playing in net. So we have to give Santos as much protection as possible to shield him from, Pulido, who's a very capable attacker. So I think 5 at the back is my personal preferred way to go. I think it provides us with better opportunities in attack.
okay. So we're on agreement.
It,
We're on
yeah,
agreement.
and some pretty much, yeah, pretty much. One thing, guys, what are we talking about here? A bunch of young guys, right? Everywhere. There's going to be young guys that maybe haven't been playing a lot, not seeing a lot of minutes, haven't been played at all. So who's going to have to be the leaders? Who's going to have to step up here? Busquets and Jordi. Those guys are the 2 veteran presence right now. They have to really have their voices heard. They have to lead this team while all these other guys are out. It is what it is, We're worried about Jordi's rest recently. Seems like we have a good week right now for him to rest. I think he's going to be ready to go. Busquets he's had decent games, nothing out of this world, but he's had very solid games. He's doing what he does, So we have to keep that up. He has to take charge of that midfield and get that defense ready for this attack as well.
And Chris, you mentioned
Speaking,
Alba. I'm so
go.
pumped to see him in this game because I think, like I was saying before, like David crucified me about me saying that he needs to, that he's very tired and he's, and all these things. Yes, I said all that stuff. I get it, but what I liked about LAFC is that he showed out. Like that's his top form that he's played while he's been an Inter Miami guy, right? He hasn't played like that since Barca. I don't know what to tell you. Figure it out. That's the best he's played. He's the
Is that
happiest he's
fact?
ever been. He's the happiest he's ever been right now. So I'm super excited to watch how he does against these guys because, we need him bad in this game to step up and be the man. And he was that in LAFC. I can't wait to see him against a less formidable opponent. I think he's going to really ball out.
And Chris, you spoke about veteran presence, and this is the first time that we're going to be without Messi for a while. Who wears the captain's band? Is it going to be Yedlin?
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
He was wearing it before Messi got here. I don't see why not.
Right.
And
if they sub him out, who wears it after Yedlin?
Oh, we don't have enough
Campana.
people, so no.
I don't think.
Nah, it would have to be a Busquets, maybe Arroyo, maybe Alba. It would have to be one of those people that sit in the back. No way it's Campana, I don't think. It needs to be someone that's vocal, organizing the team, that's able to see the pitch very well.
Sure,
I think, it's going to be one of the old heads, like no matter what. I think it's going to be interesting to see. Like I'm looking forward to what the lineup's going to be. Sporting Kansas City, all due respect, you don't scare me. Like I want to see how we're going to attack them. I don't care how they're going to come up to attack us because, frankly, the key pieces that we're missing are mostly in attack. So I'm not too worried about our defense, which is crazy because, like, 4 weeks ago, you tell me what am I most worried about? It's our defense. Right now, I'm very happy with the pieces that we have available to us in this match. It's attack that I'm not worried about, but it's a higher level of concern than our defense.
I disagree with you. I think our defense is fine with Drake at net. Calendar has covered up so many issues for our defense. While we've been happier with them getting in front of the balls and being sound, they've still given up a bunch of shot on goals, and Drake has been phenomenal. We've said it in this podcast time and time again, in all of our episodes that Drake has just been he's other than Messi, he's been the MVP. So without Drake, I don't know how much confidence some of these guys can play in their defensive schemes. They might be pressing a little more. They might be a little more nervous. So I'm not as confident in our defense as we have been in the last few matches. But I still think in attack we have two very capable attackers, and we still have our wing backs, which our offense runs a lot of our offense runs through our wing backs. So our offense, I think, is more set in place. It's the midfield, the area that was occupied by Messi, and the area in front of net that are the two big question marks for me.
I'll add a quick caveat to what I said. I think our defense is going to be not a problem because I think this is going to be the Busquets match. I think he's going to eviscerate them. I think he's going to be a defensive wall in midfield, and I think he's going to have 1, maybe 2 assists. I think he's going to be man of the match, like no questions asked.
I hope so.
We still have our big dog back there, Kamal Miller. He's been playing lights out too. Can't forget about him.
How did he not get selected? How did he not get selected for Canada?
He is. I just don't think they have any matches.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they're much later in the month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, right now we have. It's like you guys have said. I like the way our defense is played, but I think it has a lot to do with Drake Calendar being there. All of a sudden, if Aviles does a lunge, let's see if Dos Santos can stop the. If they get around them, let's see what Dos Santos will do. We're gonna need Tres Santos to try and stop the goals from happening because I don't know. I'm very nervous about that part, particularly because what has made us great: heavy possession, and heavy possession with Messi, right? Where all of a sudden, if you guys watch the game sometimes when Messi doesn't decide, hey, I'm playing right wing, I'm gonna just step all the way up to the middle and just randomly go and get the ball, and then just all of a sudden I'm gonna push the ball up now. He's not gonna be there anymore. So who's gonna do that? Now, do I think that this is a formidable opponent, like Julio said? I don't think so. I think if Messi was there, this wouldn't be a conversation. But with less talent that we're playing against Kansas City, we also have less talent. So all of a sudden, we may be more on par with them now. Now, does our core of Campana, Farias, Busquets, Alba, Miller, and Yedlin, is that enough? I think it could be. Do you guys think it's enough?
And Arroyo, I would say.
Arroyo, right? Is that
Yeah.
enough?
I think that's enough. Honestly, if you look at this team across the board, they're very average. They're an average team with an above average attacker in Pulido. That's really what they are.
And they're average overall, but they're so far below average away.
That too, exactly.
I have another question. So we've struggled with the low block. Do you think that not having Messi will discourage a team from going into the low block against us, or do you think that since we don't have Messi on there, that teams will feel like they can play us more openly? It's a complicated question because the way that LA played us, they didn't go into the low block and we were able to eviscerate them. So it's kind of interesting to see how they try to challenge us on defense.
I think LA's DNA was different. It wasn't like Nashville, Cincinnati, that their DNA was strong defense and they were able to play a low block and take away the attack from us, or take away really the possession from us. I think this team falls into very similar realm as LAFC in that they're an attacking team. I don't think they have a very good defensive identity. It's going to be very similar. I don't think they have. From what I'm trying to say is that I don't think they have the capability of playing that low block, heavy defensive style that we saw from Nashville and Cincinnati.
You don't have the facilities, big man. What I also think is one thing I want to mention. One of our Heron Heads patrons, thank you, Art. I want to shout you out again because you've been one of the best patrons that we've had. You're constantly tweeting with us. We all love you. Mostly Julio. Julio loves you a lot more. But what I would like to say is he brought something up on Twitter that I found to be pretty interesting, where this is going to be one of those games where we're just not going to be able to rely on Messi, and we can actually have some more tactical management, and we can finally kind of see, all right, Tata, the ball's in your court. The last time you didn't have Messi, we got skunked 3-0 against St. Louis. What are you going to do now? And so now I'm a little bit excited because now we get to like dive into his head a little bit, where he's like, okay, so how can you be a great manager without the greatest player in the world? Let's see what happens.
I don't think that's fair either, though. This is that 3-0 skunk was literally his first match as a coach for Inter Miami. He didn't know the team. He didn't know the players. That's not fair either. He's an overall great coach in the history of the sport. So to throw that on him isn't fair either.
Well, you know what? Let's see what happens on Saturday. If he goes down, if he loses again, I don't want to hear it. Stop defending the guy.
Well, he's gonna be so out on Tata.
He's not, because we're gonna win. But let me go back to your question, Dave. Whether Kansas City will be in a low block or if they'll come out more. I think there's two things that stick out to me. One, I imagine Kansas City will think that this is their chance, their moment to be the ones to knock off Inter Miami. Granted, with no Messi, but they're going to want to get after this game, and they're going to fear us innately. They're going to fear us less without Messi. It will be their downfall. I also think if they tried to sit in a low block, which I don't think they will, if they tried to sit in a low block, like Jose said, I don't think they have the facilities to have as composed of a low block as some of these other teams. Nashville is their identity. They understand that system, they understand how to play it, and they understand how to create opportunities on the other end of the pitch out of a low block. Sporting Kansas City is not a low block team, and they don't understand how to do it well. And if they try to do it, People are going to be all over the place. They're going to be out of position, and we're going to capitalize on it with no problem. I think a Jordi Alba cross will just tear them apart. And Farias running around at the top of the box, they're not going to know what to do, and Campana's going to be open, and he's going to score, and I'm not going to be surprised at all. I don't think they have the ability to play low block as effectively as some of these other teams that we had big issues with. I think Nashville is top tier as far as being able to play us in that way, and Nashville also, that was the second time they played us. This is Sporting Kansas City's first time. Again, granted, no Messi, but I don't think they have the capability to play us in that manner.
Now, one thing that I think we should mention is that they are doing so bad lately, right? They're riding a 2-game winning streak where they just came off of beating the second place team in the MLS. They're 2-0 the last 2 games, although they are 1-6-6 away, but they're still in good form right now. It's good to know. Another thing to know is, did you know, Julio, they are since May 2nd in the MLS. They're the second leading team in scoring. Did you know that?
Do it on a muggy night in Fort Lauderdale.
I'll do you one better, Jose. Did you know that Kansas City has never won a game in Miami? Granted, this might be the first time that they're playing against Inter Miami, but they had never been able to beat the Miami Fusion and in the same exact stadium, and back what it used to be called Lockhart Stadium, which is now Drive Pink Stadium. They had never won a match there. So I expect them to continue that streak of being awful.
Well, did you guys know?
Fun facts tonight.
Did you guys know? I got one more, last one. Did you guys know that it is Edison Ascona's birthday? So happy birthday to Edison Ascona, who is off on international duty for the Dominican Republic.
His birthday passed, but it was recent.
Well, what do you mean by that, David? What do you mean?
David, clarify.
Yeah, I saw that Inter Miami tweeted happy birthday and it's feeling 22. And they had to backtrack and delete that tweet because I don't think he turned 22 years old. I think he was 20 or 21 years old. So either way, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bud.
However many years you may be.
I was just saying it's his birthday, not how many years old he was.
Hey, Jose, just to go back to what you were saying, I know we're all saying, oh, Kansas City's average, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But to kind of hop onto what you're saying is that two things. They're playing for a playoff spot, right? They're in a much better position than we are to get a playoff spot. They're very close. Their last game was huge for them, a huge win for them. So they are playing for a playoff spot. And then speaking of the last game, it was a big win. They might be coming with a lot of momentum after that win. They might be excited, ready to go. So two little things to keep in mind,
I like that. Well, one thing I wanted to also look into that, just to keep in mind, if before Messi got here, we hadn't won 11 straight games. Messi gets here, we won 11 straight games. We win 11 straight games.
We've been unbeaten.
Yeah, just never lost. So what I would like to know is who comes to the game on Saturday. That's what I'm curious about. I'm posing the question to you three. Who do you think is actually going to show up? Are
you talking about players, or are you saying like fan attendance?
No, fan attendance I expect to be there. What I'm wondering is like
who's gonna show up and compensate for Messi missing?
Yeah, like are we gonna be the team? Are we gonna be the team that didn't win, or we're gonna be the team that didn't lose?
I think we're gonna be a team that wins. I think this team inherently, despite Messi not being there, is so different than the team that we were before Messi arrived. I mean, we have new pieces that will be playing that haven't lost since they've been here. We have Alba, Busquets, and Farias likely as these new pieces that have not tasted defeat in Inter Miami Pink. And I don't think that changes. I think, like I said, Busquets is going to be his match. He's going to show up. I I imagine Messi as he was leaving, he just looked at him, gave him the nod, and mind meld. They understood each other, and he's like, "I got you, little bro. I got
Enough
you."
said. Enough said.
Exactly, exactly.
Guys,
And
I have to interject here real quick. There was Ascona, not his birthday, nowhere near his birthday. His birthday's in November. Uh,
Why did you?
everything we said was true. It was
fake
just
news.
Ian Frey. It was
Why did
Ian
you
Frey's birthday. Sorry about that, guys.
Why did you tell
Happy
me?
birthday!
Did you know, Jose? No, you didn't know either.
I knew something. I just didn't know what I knew.
Faulty information from Dave.
Happy birthday, Ian Frey.
We're gonna get into players to watch.
On
I mean, I don't know where to go with that.
I'm watching Ian Frey.
I'm watching Ian Frey, sending him some balloons and a happy birthday from the Heron Heads. So yeah. So listen, my players to watch. Like I said, I think Busquets is going to have a really good match. I think he's going to be the metronome that keeps this match going in our favor. And, gotta say, Campana is going to score at least one, maybe bag 2 goals. Goes without saying. I think those two guys I'm looking for. We need someone that's going to put us ahead and keep us ahead in Campana. And we need Busquets to really be the general in the midfield that we know he can be.
I'm going with Fadias for my player of the match, just because, regardless of where he plays, either the striker, center attacking mid, whatever it is, I think we really need his skill set in there. Campana's great. He's a bigger dude. He's a big presence. But Fadias, like someone said a little while ago, I think it was David or Jose, I don't know who it was, that said he has to take on like that Messi role kind of. He has to get into those spots. He has to make those nice runs. Obviously, he can't replace Messi. Messi is Messi. But he has to try his best, and he has to kind of play similarly.
I'm gonna say Alba because I think he's the big dog right now in the team. I know Sergio needs to take on that role, like Julio said, but I think right now the big dog on this team is Alba. He's number 2 after Messi, and I expect it. I expect him to come into this game and just I'm the big dog and deal with it. I am also, nobody ever talks about the other team's players to watch. I am very excited to watch Pulido get in that doghouse. He's gonna get in the doghouse. I'm really excited to see it. He comes in super hot. Right now, he leads the MLS in scoring since June with 11 goals. That's a lot. So figure it out. We're gonna have to put Arroyo on him. We're gonna have to put Miller on him. We're not gonna put Aviles because Aviles is gonna dive at him and miss every time. So this is going to be very exciting to watch this game. You guys, I think you're underestimating this KC team. I think they're capable if we let this Pulido guy go off. If we let him go off, this is not going to be a fun game.
Are you an Inter Miami fan or what?
And
the hate that is spewing from you.
I understand who our team is and who we're up against. I am excited to watch them win. But I understand the downfalls. The downfall is this guy Pulido. Everyone else is not downfall. This guy, he has trap ring all over him.
The cafecito's wearing off. I can sense it.
Pulido has 12 goals, by the way, not 11 goals.
11 goals since June. Look it up.
Yeah, but he's got 12 goals. That's his
one goal in the first 10 games. Look it up.
That means he was irrelevant before.
He was irrelevant. I'm telling you, he's irrelevant. Yes, and then after those games,
but now very relevant.
Very relevant. Be careful.
But what goes up must come down. So he's gonna be coming down now against Miami because they don't win here. My player to watch for Miami, however, it's Santos. Again, our biggest player other than Messi is Calendar. So replacing him is going to be, like you said, you can't replace Messi. Well, we're going to have to replace Calendar. That's
no
the
choice.
issue. We have to replace Calendar. So I need to see Santos show me something. I need you to just play adequately. And let's see, we've been bad. We've been bad on set pieces, and that's part of that is it's the goalkeeper kind of like setting up the wall and things like that. So these are all responsibilities that Santos will have to inherit. And who knows, maybe he kind of figures something out back there and he makes a tweak that we can use when Calendar comes back. But we'll see. My eyes are on that because I know they're gonna get shots off. So we gotta be able to see how he plays back there.
Just a comment. I if I'm not mistaken, 0 goals from set pieces for Kansas City. They have a couple penalties, but
They had a few nice tries against St. Louis.
we're awful at set pieces. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying they can't score against us,
Yeah,
but
they
they're
had a
not
few nice.
elite level like Nashville.
No, they had a few nice tries that from watching the film that it would be scary if Tres Santos doesn't arrive. It's one of those things where we need him to be aware of what's going on, and we need him to just to lock in like we've been used to with Calendar. But they're not. I agree they're not very good at it, and that's our weakness. So I'm happy about it. So, but they're not slouches either.
Yeah. So let's dive into score predictions. How are we feeling? What's the pulse check? Dave Stradamus, is he in the building?
Absolutely, Dave Stradamus is in the building.
Give it to us, Dave Stradamus.
For those of you who are on Spotify, Dave Stradamus just put on his Bengals helmet because he likes the Bengals.
So I predict a Miami win. I think that we do get it done. However, it's going to be. I do think that they're gonna get goals off on us. So I think it'll be 2-1, and we'll get it done in regulation, right, Chris? I don't think this one's gonna go into pens, but
Well,
yeah,
we'll see.
I predict a
Sure
2-1 win for Miami.
David, is that helmet magical?
Are we gonna go right into the first goal scored?
May as well. You're the master of this domain.
I think. Right. Okay. Hold on. Let me rub the helmet. What does it tell me? I think we're gonna go in the 28th minute. We're gonna get our first goal, and it will be Farias.
I like it. I'm gonna go. You've been saying that our defense isn't great, or good. I'm gonna go with 2-0, 2-0 skunk. We're gonna shut them out. They're not gonna score. They're not gonna get any shots off on our defense. We're gonna have Campana and Farias are both going to get a goal up there in the front, and we're going to put them away. We're going to get 2 goals in the first half and just cruise the rest of the second half. First goal is going to come in the 17th minute.
I'm predicting that we're going to hold them under their possession where they've been winning lately. I didn't mention it, but they're a very possession oriented team. When they beat St. Louis, they had 58% possession, which is crazy against such a good team. I think we're going to hold them to like 48, 47 or so, and I think we're going to have the advantage because guess what? Bad news for them. We're also a possession team. So I don't know what to tell you, but figure it out. I think it's going to be 2-1 Miami, and I think it's going to be in the 18th minute. I will blast one into the top right corner. And good luck.
Good luck from there. So Kansas City is, I guess, known for scoring early, which is always one of our keys to the game is to score early. I think it's nowhere near as close as you guys are suggesting. I think we win this game 4-1. Busquets and Alba each get an assist. Campana, let's go with the brace. Facu with 1, and then I'm gonna go Stefanelli with 1. Hasn't seen the pitch in a long time. Maybe the film has been collecting dust in the Kansas City manager's office, and they're not paying too much attention to it. And he's gonna pop in and hit the nicest goal of the match. But I think 4-1, first goal in the 12th minute.
Respectable.
So with that being said, we will have the match reaction live on YouTube post-match. Regardless of what happens, regardless of however much we beat Sporting Kansas City by, we'll bring the pots and pans and champagne bottles as always. Thank you for stopping by the Heron Heads podcast, your first place for all things Inter Miami. We'll catch you guys next time.